Hey guys, so I started this new project where I draw different things as old anime VHS tapes. I grew up with VHS. As a kid, we didn't really have a lot of DVDs. We basically only had VHS tapes like Lion King and other Disney films, Silver Fang. So they are definitely very nostalgic and iconic to me. And I personally love how they look, especially old anime VHS tapes. Like the older and uglier, the better. And I thought it was a fun idea to try turning these modern things like movies and TV shows into this old dead format. So I started by drawing The Summer Hikaru Died as a VHS. It's a really new anime. New episodes come out every Saturday and there are 8 episodes out so far. I'm not gonna tell like too much about the plot, but if you haven't watched or read the series, there will be spoilers. So you've been warned. And I haven't read the manga at all. It is on my list and I will and I want to. So I am basing this drawing and whole video purely on the anime and on the episodes I've seen. So this anime was recommended to me and I've enjoyed it. It has horror, it deals with themes like friendship, loss and grief. And it's gay as hell. And you know, the show is extremely popular right now and it doesn't really surprise me because it is that good. It's like everything Uzumaki could have been. So this honestly took me forever. I haven't done this before and it involved a lot of planning because it was like so difficult to even start figuring out what direction to take this in because there are so many different cover styles and designs. The options were basically endless. And I started by going through literally 100 different anime VHS covers, just saving them, and I just stared at them and studied them for like hours. And honestly, my favorites are those almost like ugly covers, you know, with really clumsy design, simple design, with ugly fonts. The front cover often just has this square with the picture inside. And those little poor quality preview pics on the back, like that's the shit. So that's what I went with, and I used these couple covers as my main reference for this. Also, I came across a lot of anime I've never even heard of, so I definitely found new stuff to watch, so that was good. And I wanted to keep this quite simple. I made the covers black because I think it fits the dark tone of this series really well. I didn't want to make this too complicated or draw too many characters, even though I like those anime covers that have like lots of characters arranged almost like this collage. And at first I thought of doing that, just put all the main characters on the cover. But then I thought like, nah, let's just keep this simple. And often a simple idea works a lot better. That back cover text I took directly from the wiki. It's actually the synopsis for the manga, but it fits the anime just as well, so... And you can read that if you like, it sums up the plot pretty well. But really shortly, this anime is about these two friends, Yoshiki and Hikaru. Hikaru is the one with white hair. And Hikaru disappears into the mountains for a week and everyone thinks he's dead, but then he comes back and he's not the same anymore. He's been possessed by this like supernatural being or spirit. So the series explores the relationship between the two boys and how Yoshiki kinda adjusts to the new Hikaru. So for the front cover I decided to just draw Hikaru. I used a few reference images like this shot from the opening. I like the face he's making here, so I tried to replicate it, and I wanted him to just kinda stand there surrounded by sunflowers because I love when people draw Hikaru with sunflowers. I really like their symbolism with this character, so I really wanted to include them on the cover. And I tried to make them look a bit withered, like they're dying. And there is of course that black ooze coming out of his face. And I will add the mountains where he disappeared in the background. Like that was my basic idea for this. And for the back, I wanted 3 preview images. I picked the scenes quite randomly. I like the cat Mince because he's such a cute and funny character who is afraid of the new Hikaru, always hissing at him and running away. So I wanted to include him. It was quite hard to choose the other two scenes because there are like so many good scenes, and I felt like they needed to spark interest or be important to the story. So I chose the hugging scene from the first episode when the new Hikaru reveals his true form, because that's a big and important moment. And then I drew a scene from episode 5 where Yoshiki is surrounded by those weird brain things. I won't spoil more, but I just wanted to draw them because they looked so weird and gross. And I drew these both almost directly from reference. I just tried to keep the art style and coloring more old, like from older anime. I also wanted to draw this larger image on the back so it wouldn't just be solid black. I thought that might have been too boring. And I love the scene where Yoshiki sees that weird zigzag thing in the forest, and it turns out to be this creepy ass ghost lady. That scene was honestly terrifying, and for me one of the most memorable moments, so it was an easy choice for this. But yeah, I really struggled with the whole like layout and how to make everything work, because I wanted the black gooey thing from the front cover to continue onto the back, and it was hard to decide on the overall color palette, whether to make this really dark and gloomy or keep it more bright and colorful. And in the end I went with more colorful design, since the anime takes place in summer and everything is very green and bright. But underneath all that there is still like horror and darkness, and I think that makes the atmosphere of the anime even creepier and more unsettling. And I took a lot of inspiration for this from Neon Genesis, Akira, Satoshi Kon movies. I love their art styles and color palettes. I love everything about them. I decided to keep the title yellow to kind of match the old anime vibe, and it's the show's actual logo. I just copied it directly. I have to admit I'm not the biggest fan of the font choices here, but honestly it fits the old VHS aesthetic pretty well. But yeah, you have no idea how much I struggle with this, especially with Hikaru's face, because I couldn't decide how I wanted the black thing goo to look like. And if you're wondering about this little text here, I'll explain more about it at the end. And I added that blood on his face purely for more dramatic effect. He doesn't actually bleed in the series when he transforms, but I wanted to add blood anyway. So this is how it turned out. I'm not like entirely happy with the front cover, but I really like how the back turned out. I definitely took some liberties with the characters and especially with the black goo coming out of Hikaru's face, because it doesn't look exactly the same as in the show. But you know, I almost lost my f***ing mind while drawing it because I just couldn't make it look the way I wanted, but it came out okay. It's okay. And I thought it was a fun little detail to add Emimi video on the spine. And one tape I saw online had that promotional copy sticker, so I added it too. And I also made another version with blue cover. Otherwise it's the same, but the front cover is blue with a slightly different background, and I changed the title to red. And I personally prefer the original, but I still wanted to make two different versions since they give off very different moods. And this is what they look like as real physical tapes. When I got this idea, I knew I wanted to make physical versions too. So I did some test printing in the beginning to see how they might look and how the layout works. And once I finished the covers, I bought high quality photo paper and I printed them with my own printer. I had to edit and adjust the colors quite a bit, and even then they didn't print perfectly. My printer is a cheap piece of shit. But in the end they turned out pretty good. They both have real tapes inside. I designed and printed labels for them. So about this little text here, I'm going to take both of these to random recycling centers free item sections. in Finland, because I live in Finland, and leave them there for someone to find. So if you are in Finland and happen to come across these, post a picture of them and tag me on any of my social media. I still have my own copies of these both, but otherwise these are the only ones in the world. So if you find one, there are no others. I thought that was such a fun little thing to do. I also made and recorded these little messages on both tapes, explaining that they aren't real products, but an art piece made by me, just in case someone still has a VCR and wants to see what's on them. And it was so difficult to get any video onto the tapes. I spent like a week just trying to figure this shit out. Like recording from VHS to a CD, no problem. But the other way around, f*** you. But in the end, I managed to get video onto them and I'm super happy about that. I really like these, I like how they look, and I actually really like how the printing made these little preview pictures look. It kind of made the effects I added pop, like that sort of like 3D effect, and it makes them look even more authentic. But yeah, I did my best to make these look like those real old anime VHS tapes, and I think I did pretty well. So I'm going to make more of these from other series, movies, TV shows, or whatever comes to mind. I even bought several empty tapes because I want to make more of these. And if you guys have any suggestions what you would like to see as a VHS, let me know in the comments. If you have watched or read The Summer Hikaru Died, let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, ding the bell, and check out my last video where I drew your flea market finds. And as always, stay adorable guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.